Welcome to another Back in the Day podcast, proudly brought to you by the Fitz 2 Sports Bar right here in beautiful Christchurch. The Fitz offers you footy fans everything you could possibly wish for, including daily tradie specials, kicking off Mondays with $10 corks bottles, $7 pints and $1 smoked chicken wings. And don't forget Taco Tuesdays and trivia along with karaoke. Wednesdays you've got 2-for-1 smoked burgers, and Thursdays, my personal favourite, $20 for ribs and a pint. You cannot go wrong with that. And then Friday, $18 steak night, the mega meat raffles kicking off from 7 p.m. Saturday, we got $10 pints of Heineken. I'll definitely be sinking a few of those, as well as Tiger, Tuatara, and your kids dine for free. How good is that? Sunday, $10 cork bottles and a $15 roast. There's also darts, pool, pokie machines, of course, all the live sport you could dream of, especially the footy. That's what we're there for. It's the perfect place to hang out with your mates, have a great time, drop a few cold ones. So thanks heaps to the Fitz for supporting the Point of Difference Rugby League podcast. Go make that your local, and we'll see you down there for kickoff. Do you love coffee? I sure love coffee. And if you'd like to help support the Point of Difference Rugby League podcast, consider shouting me a coffee by clicking the link in the description of this video. Now, I will always bring this content to you absolutely free of charge, but it does cost to produce a podcast. So again, if you would love to support the show and you enjoy the content, consider shouting me a coffee. Click the link in that description, and I'll keep bringing you the stories from our great legends in the game of rugby league. Now that's enough waffling for now. Kick back, relax, get yourself a coffee, and let's kick off the show. Hey footy fans, welcome to the Point of Difference Rugby League podcast. I'm your host Dave, and today we have a sensational guest on the show. He's a Newcastle Knights champion, won 2 grand finals. He did it all for Queensland and Australia. It's the one and only Robbie O'Davis. How are you, man?
How are you, mate? I'm good. I'm as good as I can be.
Oh, that's good, man. It's really good to meet you here, man. Honestly, thanks so much for coming on. I know you've had a pretty tough time post-footy, so I thought we'd kick the show off on, a little bit more of a serious note than usual, and let us know what you've been up to, how you've been travelling, and how life is for Robbie O'Davis these days.
Mate, I probably struggled when I first left rugby league. You don't ask to get pedestal. You just, as a young kid, you love the sport, you play the sport, you become successful in the sport, and press make or break you. They put you on a pedestal, and can be good if you learn how to play the phone game. It can be fun. Some people are just made to be famous. Some people probably aren't. And you see a lot of got rat bags, and mate, a great example is like Latrell. He's probably never meant to be famous because he doesn't know how to be famous. He doesn't know how to play the phone game. All he knows how to play is be a rat bag, and then apologise for being a rat bag. So, and then you love him, hate him, love him, hate him. So some people. And even Andrew Johns, he was never meant to play the phone game. He was always that rat bag. But over time, it took him probably to retire to learn how to play that phone game. And now he's bloody one of the highest profiles still in the game. So coming off that pedestal that I got put on was very hard.
Yeah.
You still go to the nightclubs and expect to get entry in the front of the line. Not at all. I guess I wasn't joking about that. So, but also, you lead the game and you get taken out of schools like, I won't say uneducated, but you don't finish high school years. And then you have a choice to make. You play a violent game for 10 years and get your head knocked around, which you don't think you're going to get your head knocked around. You think you're going to get your body knocked around, not your head. And all of a sudden, it's hard to get re-educated and hard to get jobs that are literally beyond digging holes and driving vehicles. So that's where I've been pretty much for the last 17, 18 years. And doing that, I went back to my grassroots, which was my fitness. In that time, you had to get an income, you had to get good money, and there's no money really in fitness. And there would be now if you want to sell online products and all that sort of stuff. But I just chase the side of fitness that a lot of people weren't following. That was obesity. Okay. So a lot of people just weren't promoting that. They were totally focused on obesity. When I just did, I had 194 kilo father, 160 kilo mother, and I just wanted to save their life. So I went into doing free boot camps for people around Newcastle. Within 3 years, there was 10,000 plus registered clients, and I had boot camps as far as Cairns. And I trained every single one of them 10,000 clients, which is pretty cool. And then I went for another 10, 12 years. In that 10 or 12 years, Christ knows how many people I would have trained, and then I trained professional athletes, professional teams, and amateur teams along the way. So I trained a lot of people. 2-3 years ago, the COVID hit, as we all know. And my mum died of obesity. So I was pretty much focused on training every other bastard in Australia, but we got about my own mother. My dad dropped down about 100 kilo. He lost a human being within 90 odd kilo. And mum, you take by face value. She's the lady you put the kids on the lap, and she sings. Teaches them how to sing the national anthem. She sings a Little White Ball, and anything that grandmas do and mums do. So just took me focus off the wrong people, and I closed that boot camp down 2 years ago. Just broke my heart, I guess.
Okay.
And then since then, I've been just driving trucks down the road. When you're owned by a town, as you do in Newcastle, one team, one town, you don't get a lot of time to yourself, and you have to be what everyone else wants you to be. You can't walk down the road and be angry. You can't be cranky. You can't neglect people. You just have to always smile and give them a wave and play the personality that they've probably seen 17 years ago. And don't realise that you're an old cranky bastard these days. And for that reason, I went into truck driving, and truck driving was just put your radio on and drive down the road. Until about 6 months ago, I was driving Aggie, which is a concrete truck, and back of it rolls to the left. And I went on the side of a mountain. The tipper was coming down the other way, and I just had no more room. So instead of going over the mountain and dying, I decided to slam it right and put the tipper left on the ground and cut my bloody ear off. So the boys are calling me, it's back there now, but they're calling me 6 months, like a half an ear. And then they started calling me 18 months, like 1.5 years. And I thought, let's just get it sewn back on. So I felt really good. Mate, what it did do is it knocked me out for 5 minutes. And it was the old boxers knockout, the rugby league knockout, where you're still throwing punches, but you're knocked out, you're unconscious. So I grabbed everything out of the truck, put it across the road in this paddock for some reason, and I sat on the esky that was in the truck. And by the time I sort of like, this is just me looking back at the accident. By the time I look back at the truck and realise that I'd done something, I realised it must be 5 minutes later by the amount of stuff I took out of the truck and took across the road. So pretty much woke up 5 minutes later, and by doing that, and after playing so much football for so long, and having probable CTE and all that sort of stuff, which we talk about a lot now, and early dementia and like concussion and all that sort of stuff. Mate, I've been on actually workers' comp for 6 months. I can go down the road now. I just look down at my phone out the front of the gym or something and fall asleep for 3 hours and wake up, with the car running and the air conditioner on. And so there's something going wrong up there. Just started wearing glasses because I got Botox injections in the back of my head just recently, just to try to take away the headaches.
Okay. And
the Botox injections hasn't helped me. I'm still ugly as fuck. I hit the Botox test and hit the flu behind the eyes, and they blinded me for 3 weeks. So
wow,
my pride, what do you say? Person that I was being paid a lot of money to have the best eyes in Newcastle by catching bombs that go out of the lights and come back down in stadiums. The pride in me said I just couldn't wear glasses, so I'm as blind as a bat. The other day I went and got some glasses, so I can now see your Queensland shirt, so that's good.
Yeah, man. Rocked out the Queensland shirt just for you. I support Queensland, so it's all good. No, my whole family on my dad's side is all from Queensland, Brisbane. So,
I know New Zealand's in Queensland. You know that.
Well, yeah, most of New Zealand's in Queensland and New South Wales.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I was born in Kurrajong. Yes, I was born in Kurrajong, just outside of Penrith. So that's in Queensland. So yeah, don't worry about it.
Okay, done deal. Robbie O'Davis says it's okay. So what are some of the things you struggle with, like in your daily life? Like, just it must be so hard, going from the heights of rugby league to now you're not even working. That must be tough.
The thing you struggle with, and the thing is, I'm insane. You struggle with pain threshold. You struggle
Okay.
with waking up Monday morning was an addiction. It's a sick addiction. Sick addiction. If you're not hurting on Monday morning, you haven't had a go. You haven't
Okay.
haven't played for a town. You haven't played for a team. You haven't done what we've done for so long, and it was a sick addiction. And still now, when I wake up Monday morning, I try not to put headache in the shape of alcohol. So the headache was used to be from going hard, just playing a little man, a big man's game. I played it. Come in the first grade game in Brisbane. In Toowoomba, actually, the age of 15. And you can't play that age these days. So kids didn't have pubes at the age of, kids don't have pubes at the age of 15. When I was playing first grade football with men, the age of 16, I played first grade in Brisbane for East with Johnny Lang, which won a premiership with Penrith. He was my coach, and that was 16. And then Knights bought me from that second game I ever played.
Okay.
Lang Park, and Knights were there playing the Broncos the next day, and they bought me and took me down at the age of 16. Played first grade at the age of 18 in NRL, and ran on at 72 kilo in NRL.
Yes.
Geez, I can't remember who I was marking, but I remember I put one on Gary Freeman's. That's what I took one of the boys about putting one on Gary Freeman's chin in the same game. We were sitting there, and this is what made me as a player. And I still, to this day, what made me as a first grade player, and like I said, a little man and big man's game was, I was at TAFE and I was doing diesel mechanics. And the teacher rings up and goes, "Mate, we want on the phone by David Waite, which is the coach." And I said, "Yeah, righty up." Matty Johns, even before he became a first grade, even before he became the person he is, he was always a larrikin, always a dickhead. He was playing in the reserve grade game comp with me, and I knew he was good at prank calls because a week before he prank called Martin Bell for absolutely no reason because Chief had his number.
Okay.
And mate, like I said, he was a reserve grade, never ever played first grade in his life, and he was prank calling Martin Bell, telling him to get down the pub. He's his best mate from school, and just trying to sell Martin to the pub. It's stupid. So that was Matty Johns for sure. And sure enough, David Waite was on the phone. He said, we've gone in first grade, 2:00 training, please. And I said, "Yeah, fuck off, Matty, what's going on?" And he goes, "I'll tell you what, Robbie O, if you're not here at 2:00, I'll just pick some other bastard." Oh, shit. So I walked in the TAFE teacher, and like I said, the diesel mechanic, and I said, "Mate, can I tell you something?" I said, "I've been here for 6 months." I said, "I don't even know where to put the fucking oil." I said, "I haven't been listening. There's a girl up the back there I've been perving on the whole freaking 6 months." And I ended up dating her, Tracy Blackburn. And I ended up dating her, and I said, "I've been perving on the whole freaking 6 months. I haven't listened. And I've just got chosen in first grade." And I turned the class and went, "I'll never work again." So anyway, I walked out, and that drive from Curry, which is 30 kilometres away from Newcastle, to that first training run was the most important drive of my life because I was giving up an apprenticeship to play professional football. And I just went, "Am I ready to do this?" And I just looked at, yes, of course. I'm lifting weights. I'm doing what I have to do. I'm training hard. I'm scoring tries. And I was a fullback in reserve grade, but I was a 5'8". Australian touch play. It was Australian touch play, so I was very good with the ball in my hands, and but playing fullback just to get in the game. I think Jamie Ainscoe or Jamie Corcoran was a 5'8" reserve grade back then. Great players. And we just won 8 in a row. Our reserve grade team won 8 in a row. That Adam Muir and friggin' Tony Kemp.
Wow.
Yeah, Tony Kemp was still there.
He would have been over on the rookie scheme. Yeah.
Oh, it was unreal. Yeah. So we had a fair right. So over trained the first grade. So I played East in the first game. It wasn't Sydney City back then, it was East. And I just first touch of the ball, a guy called Matt Rodwell kicks it over the corner, and I'm running down the sideline, and the ball went out over the sideline just before the corner post, but I put my hand out, grabbed it, and put it in the in-goal area. So the crowd, 30,000 people back then, I think they get 22, 25 in the stadium now, 27 maybe. 30,000 people just erupted. There was only a hill. There wasn't no seats. There's just a hill.
Yeah.
Erupted. And I actually ran along the sideline the whole time. And I put it down. I knocked the corner post down as I put it down. So everything was just wrong. So I couldn't touch the corner post. It was all wrong. But, 100 people seen that I fucked up. But the 20, what is it? 29,000, whatever, thought I scored. So anyway, just the sound of that crowd cheering for me alone, just sucking me in. So I was just busy. I was racing around everywhere, trying to look for something to do. Just I've got to play first grade. So I'm looking for something to do, and nothing was coming my way. And Tony Kemp was my centre, and he just wasn't passing the ball to me. And so I thought I'd go piss around the other side, just inside a guy called Johnny Schuster. So I think he's the king of friggin' somewhere. So anyway, I was trying to get the ball off Shu, and Shu would pass you the ball, but he had that good a feet. You didn't want him to pass the ball. You just wanted to step past the team. So anyway, looking for the ball, couldn't get it. Made 3 tackles with about 5 minutes to go in the game. 3 tackles, and I looked up as I made this tackle, and I'd just seen my whole life in rugby league just flash before my eyes. And I ran out from marker, and the guys kicked the ball, and I'm just, like I said, 72 kilo, just cocked my elbow, put it straight on his chin. He's gone down. Get off, big fella. So anyway, I ran off. As I got sent off after the game, I become the most popular person in Australia. It was Gary Freeman. I knocked out the Kiwi captain. So David Waite comes up to me after the game and said, "Mate, don't worry about that." He said, "I want you in first grade for the rest of my fucking life." He said, "So so Wiz coming at expense, your next expense coming the shape of playing NRL for the rest of my life." So it's pretty good.
That's great intro to first grade, man. So to wind back a little bit, when you were a young fellow, what was it about the game that kept you coming back every week? Because you played with your dad, didn't you, at one stage? When you were a teenager, what was it that really made you want to keep coming back every week before you hit the heights of, the big crowds and everything? Was it just the thrill of running the ball and using that blinding speed? Like, what was it?
My dad, as you just mentioned. So, Dad he played for Penrith when he came back from Vietnam. He was a returned serviceman. And Dad always said, he goes, "You ever smoke marijuana, son?" Never smoked a freaking cigarette in my life. Close I got a cigarette as I give my brother a Winnie Red one day when I've seen him smoking a cigarette as a bloody 5-year-old in the tank stand. I went and grabbed a Winnie Red because everyone says it's the strongest freaking cigarette around. And I lit it up, went and give it to him, and made him suck it down his guts at the age of 5, so he'd never ever smoke again. So, I was 14 at the time. Dad says, "You ever smoke one?" I said, "No, Dad, I haven't smoked cigarettes." He goes, "Well, marijuana saved your life." So what's happened? He goes, "I was over in Vietnam, and we were on the old hoochie coochie, and we were doing the scout out of the perimeter." He said, "I was a gunman in a helicopter." He said, in the Air Force, he said, I scouted the perimeter one day, our helicopters were landed, and I just got on the old hoochie coochie, and I ran off the back of the people mover, which is a car, at 100 kilometres an hour, and I spent 6 months in hospital. They sent me home. He said, the day I got sent home, my helicopter got knocked out of the air. And he said, wow. So I blamed Hoochie Coochie for saving my life. So he said, if you ever want to have a go, just let us know. So anyway, he's never smoked it. Anyway, he come back and played with Penrith. Tommy Rodonicus was his best mate in the Air Force, and Tommy was in the Air Force, but he never went to Vietnam. Tommy went to West, and Dad went to Penrith.
Crazy.
And he played 1.5 years, 2 years. He played half year at first grade, and then signed and went in the RAF back up in Brisbane, where he's from. His place Loki, outside of Toowoomba, up in Queensland. So we went back up there. I got born in 1972, just when he came back, when he was playing for Penrith, at a Currajong Hospital, just outside of Penrith. Went up there, and at the age of 2, and Dad played in West in Brisbane, won a premiership there, 76, 78, somewhere around there. And then went to Toowoomba and just become played against Great Britain, the touring sides, and become Toowoomba's best front rowers over the years. And I just remember watching him, and he was my Wally Lewis. He was my superstar. He was my hero. And at the age of 15, Dad was captain coach of side in Toowoomba called Newtown, and I'd actually run on the wing with that team since the age of 10. Up in country towns, they can't fill the numbers because they have to work. So on Tuesday, Friday, because it's amateur sport, and he just go, "Robbie, jump on the wing for us." Robbie, jump on the wing. So I was filling in the numbers for his first grade team a lot. And after 5 years of filling in the numbers, I knew the team and his plays and everything inside out. And at the time, I became the Australian touch captain. So, mate, yeah, first grade game, first age of 15, they put me on the field. There's a massive big uproar in the town about 15-year-old kid playing first grade, and I handled it. We got beaten by Johnny Lang, East, 35-5, 3-point tries back then, and I scored the only try. Let's score the only try and kick the only goal. So, yeah, so Johnny Lang signed me from that game. So that's the way it all turned out. So it turned out so bittersweet. So we've got Dad as probably as my hero. I could just run, mate. I could run like the wind. I played state soccer at the age of, I played soccer first, I played rugby league. My first game rugby league under 10s. Under 12s, I was playing for Queensland. Under 11s, I went New Zealand touring side. I got played of New Zealand. I still remember going to Invercargill, and I was the goal kicker, and it was -5 degrees, sleet, just ridiculous. And because I was the goal kicker, we would score tries, and we won by 60 points or something. The only try was scored by a great big Kiwi woman, a young girl. So we're 10, 11 years of age, and this girl was a woman. But I reckon that they just put one of the mums on there, and she just fired the line. She was a big lad. And seeing what they do now, mate, it makes sense. So anyway, because I was a goal kicker, boys would score and all run back to mum and dad and put their hands in mum and dad's woolly sheepskin jackets. And I was a goal kicker. I didn't get to touch it all freaking game. So at the end of the game, we went back to, you could tell me, where they get in there and all the Kiwis or Maoris do their like huts type things where they sing and do all that sort of stuff. And that's what's staying in
marae.
Yeah, straight up. So they had cold water in there. So I've come off the freaking field, -5 degrees, having a cold shower. So I'm on fire. So that's my best memory. Coming back from New Zealand, 11-year-old kid. But I got by the carnival over there, and then by the age of 12, I played for Queensland. Age of 15, I'm 16, I'm heading down to Brisbane. So Dad was my hero. And like I said to a lady this morning, she goes, I'm running 3-hour marathon times. I'm going pretty good. And I said, I ran a 3-hour marathon one day, just accidentally. She goes, what do you mean accidentally? I said, I just went out to this place and I was at the vineyards. I was about to get on the drink at the vineyards in Newcastle. And there was a marathon running. So when I said to run a marathon, I'm just going to line up. Instead of getting on the drink, I'm going to line up for the marathon while my wife got on the drink. And we actually ran the marathon in 3 hours.
That's crazy.
She goes, yeah, I know. She goes, untrained. I said, yeah, I'm just super fit. I just finished rugby league and I'm just super fit. And I said, I could always run. I knew I could run because when I was at school, I'd done the cross country at school, and I stopped for a poo halfway around the cross country. And at the end of the cross country, it all ran through. The kids in each age group coming through, everyone high fiving and carrying on. Everyone's cheering all this sort of shit back at school as you did. Cross country's a big thing still these days. And I said the next day at the assembly, they said in the winter of the cross country is Robbie O'Davis, and I actually stopped for shit on the way, so I knew I could run.
Legend, got time for a shit on a cross country.
Unreal.
Oh, yeah, so
that
cool.
was it, mate. The fact I could run, and it doesn't sound good, but mate, you're not my age, but we got belted from pillow to post. You'd wake up and Dad would smack you on Monday morning, and you go, "What was that for, Dad?" And he goes, "It's not what you do today, son. It's what you do tomorrow." All right. So next day you come home from school, Dad would smack you again. You belt, whatever. It's not what you do today, son. What's that for? So by the time Friday would come, he'd actually play up. And he'd come and give you a smack, and you go, "Mate, I've got 5 in the bank." And he goes, "Well, have another one." And I knew you'd play up. So we grew up with high discipline. Not the sort of thing that smack around the head, just like smack around the ass, cord, or whatever they pick up, because there was no freaking phones. There was nothing to entertain us. The only thing that entertained us was BMX bike and how much we could get on the back wheel and how many pedals we can do. And kissing your girlfriend at lunch break, and then playing Atari, and the Atari would go boom boom. There's paddles going along the back.
Yeah, man. I had an Atari,
and that was it. That was it. There's nothing to say. You wouldn't play it. If you played 2 minutes, you'd lose, and you'd piss off, go back out in the park, and burn your mate again. So yeah, we grew up in that sort of life, and I suppose that made me a tough kid, and we were country kids too. So we were driving cars, rounding up cows at the age of 7. So riding motorbikes, jumping jumps at the age of 8. So we grew up with that pain threshold in our system, and
Yeah.
we're pretty lucky. Pretty lucky.
Yeah, man. Well, it definitely prepared you for first grade. And like you walk into training for probably, in that first grade squad, and there's Paul Harrigan, Mark Glanville, Mark Sargent, Michael Hagan, Sammy Stewart, Kiwi legend.
Legend.
And,
Too good.
you're running around with
I remember
these
Jimmy
blokes.
Goulding. Jimmy Goulding.
Oh,
Don't forget
yeah.
Jimmy.
Yeah. And
Love
so
it.
what's the feeling like when you're running around with these boys as a young fella playing first grade? That's pretty amazing.
I got taken by a guy called Keith Onslow to, he was a development officer, took me up the back of the grandstand on my first ever visit. And, I'd walk around Lang Park and seeing the cauldron the way it was and watching Wally and teams play, all that sort of stuff. And it's pretty amazing. But to go to the stadium, they just signed me up, and it was the best thing I've ever seen. So it's grass hill all the way around with the one big stadium grandstand. I went right back up the back of the grandstand, and this Keith Onslow said, "Close your eyes." All right. So I closed my eyes, and he said, "Just picture yourself, ball in hand, down the sideline, 30,000 people in the stadium just screaming your name." And he preempted what I was talking about with these.
Yeah.
And he said, "Imagine that." And I just got addicted. I could, and I did. And when it happened, I went, "Shit, did this come to fruition?" So that was my first day. Went down. There was Alan McMahon and David Waite, a reserve grade, first grade coach, and a guy called Alan Bell, which is the Brains Trust. And they sat in this room, and I thought I was getting financially advised because they'd done the old pie chart. Got to get the finances right, the love right, the fucking whatever. So they've done the pie chart, and the pie chart belonged to the players. He went, Paul Harrigan, half the pie. Sammy Stewart, a quarter of the pie. Michael Hagan, a quarter of the pie. Blah, blah. And then you're one of these. You're this. You want to become part of that part of the pie. And I was just hungry. I didn't give a fuck about what they were saying. I just want to eat because I was talking about pie.
Eat the pie.
Some 7-year-old kid just hungry as all shit because they're talking about having pies and peas on that bastard. So within the contract was $5 grand, $7 grand, $10 grand. 3 years contract I signed. By the time I got to 10 grand, Super League war come, and I went from 10 grand to 400 grand, and mate, all of a sudden I'm gone from eating a sizzler to freaking eating caviar. So it was just pretty amazing. And obviously then playing for Queensland, so that was pretty cool. So that run and seeing them human beings so big, and a guy called Glenn Miller, not Glenn Miller the singer, but Glenn Miller, which has got really bad dementia at the moment. Glenny, he's at the age of 55. I was staying with Glenn, and he homed me for 1.5 years when I first come down. And he said he still remembers the first day I showed up at training, like 68. I wasn't even 72 kilo, I was 68 kilo. He said, "You walk straight up to the first grade." And this is me. This is me. I'm the cockiest bastard in the world. But I had to be cocky because I was a little man, a big man's game.
Yep.
And I walked straight up the first grade side and said, "I'll be training with you guys tomorrow. Not today, tomorrow." And the whole team, he said the whole team laughed. And I said, "To really do that?" He said, "I can guarantee you don't." So the next day I was doing bounds, and I twisted my ankle, and I didn't train for 6 weeks. And the whole first grade, so I was running past, laughing at me. So by the time we went to the first trial, they were trying to get New Zealand in the comp, and they were taking the teams over that had the most New Zealand players in, Manly, East, and us. So they were taking us over there, and we're playing trial matches. So my first game was a trial match that year against Manly overseas. So 1 minute to go, I ran on the field, ran straight across the field, jumped in dummy half, chucked it. I was on the wing, so I just chucked it dummy half, went bang, 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 out. Tony Kemp give it to Ashley Gordon in the last minute.
Yep.
We beat Manly in the last minute of the game.
Yep.
I went over. Johnny Schuster's the kicker. I went over, started lining the ball up for the kick. Shu come over and said, "What are you doing?" I'm kicking reserve grade. This is not reserve grade, mate. I went, "Oh, Shu." He goes, "You know what? We've already won by 2. Have a kick." It went fucking 30 metres that way. Didn't go anywhere near the post because I got that excited. But yeah, my first 1 minute, I went over and took the ball off Johnny Schuster.
How good. How good.
Too
Oh,
good.
mate. Darren Williams was filthy about that because I had him on the podcast a while back. He scored in the first half, but then he's still like, no, that pass from Tony Kemp was forward.
It was forward. That's too good. That's way too good. So you remember that?
Oh,
That
yeah,
is.
very much so. It's the
Oh, the
first
next.
ever premiership or like New South Wales Rugby League match played in New Zealand. So it's like real historical over here. Yeah.
Oh, what it was. Oh wow! And Eden, what's it called? That oval, Eden Park,
That's Carlo Park.
Carlo Park, Eden. Yeah, Carlo Park. It was, and the next game we played there, there was a not Lee O'Brien, but a sprinter that was playing on the left hand wing for East, and
Okay.
Wiz was a, and I was watching Wiz. I played fullback, and I was watching Wiz, and he goes to this guy that just won. He just won the biggest race over in Australia, which is the gift, the store gift, and that you signed for Rugby League. Not Darren Clark, but another guy. He signed for Rugby League on the left hand side, and I was watching Wiz give him a bit of a wink, and the winger on this side, on over marketing, Tony Herman, was a big slow winger, and when he gave this guy a wink, I'd already turned my toes towards, and I was standing where the 5'8" stand. I actually already turned my toes towards that side because I knew it was on. So as soon as Wiz got out and faded back and gave it to this winger, I was always in running. I was already running. So as he went down, I just come across him cutting down over the sideline. And next day in the paper was like, is this Robbie O'Davis quicker than the quickest runner in Australia? I didn't realise I was already gone. But as
You'll
it
take
goes,
it.
they beat us. They beat us in the last minute, East, because Wiz Freeman Gary knew that the bottom corner went like that of KL Puck, went up,
Yeah.
and I've just run it. It was going like that. The ball was going like this. I'm just running to put it over the sideline. It's going. And all of a sudden, it's just hit this thing and bounce back over my head, and someone's coming through and scored. So only Gary Freeman would have known that. And yeah,
Yep.
he beat me with his knowledge. So that was the second game we played over there within another year or so. Auckland Warriors come in.
Yes,
What
yes,
year
man.
did
So, and
Auckland?
also
What year did they come in? Auckland.
1995, they officially
Yeah,
came
okay, so
into
that
the
was
comp when the
93,
ARL
94.
was formed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, cool.
yeah, man.
Yeah, that would have been right on the money.
Yep,
Yeah,
yeah, man. So that '92 season, you guys actually made the finals for the first time in Newcastle's history, and you got 2 tries and a 21-2 victory over the Magpies. How good was it? Running out, playing finals, and you're doing your good things. Robbie O'Davis carving up in a finals match. That's pretty awesome. Like when you're 18.
yeah, mate. Once again, I was 75 kilos at that stage. I put on a bit of bulk. I must have like I don't know, some eggs for breakfast or something. Um, it was amazing. And once again, I'll talk about that crowd. The excitement behind the crowd. When you hear a crowd in a stadium that doesn't have hills, it echoes back at you. No, that was pretty amazing. I think I might have retired Mark Bell. I said after that, I don't think Mark Bell ever played again. Honestly, he had this little kid running around in front of him, making him look like an idiot. And I don't think he ever played again. Yeah, that's pretty surreal. That was a first final series, and in that year, we invented something that's the main part of the game, and that was David Waite and Alan Bell that invented second phase. So we played
Okay.
that year with second phase. So week in, week out, people couldn't figure out how to defend second phase. Well, at 93, they did. Just hold your line, pretty much like Queensland, the way they fucked it up the other night, took 3 steps and held their line. If you don't attack in defence, you're going to get punished. And anyway, they held their line, and when we're doing all our stupid plays out the back, we're cutting under, last minute. We're scoring tries, they couldn't solve it. Next year they did. So along comes Craig Bellamy, all them years later, and he goes, well, that's a really good style of football, but instead of cutting people under at the end, we're going to use the guys like Robbie Ross and Billy Slater that are super quick and skip to the outside and play 3-on-2s on the winger. We didn't have that bit. We just had like drop and a Muir and all that sort of dropping back to the middle. And when we strain, point people's feet towards the sideline, we're going to cut people back underneath the middle. So he said, if I can hold up with 2 runners instead of 1 runner, you could give a chance to scoot to the last tram line of 10%, like 10-metre tram line, and go 3 people, boom, 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 down. So hence Craig Bellamy invented, but he didn't. David Waite invented second phase. And now it's like the game is second phase. They're up, drop it out, up, drop it down. But we don't 92. So being part of that intervention was pretty cool. Being part of a side that had not, seen the likes of the Johns boys at their peak. Matt Johns was a little fat hooker, and he ended up being Australian 5'8". So Matty's never represented any side as a kid. Andrew did. But actually, this is left field. So Matt and Andrew Johns coming back from World Cup 95. And I hope you got a long time because I've got some stories. 95 World Cup. They come back and they done a luncheon with a guy called Gary Harley. They said he ate half of Newcastle because he's like 140 kilo, big unit. He was a commentator. Gary Harley was interviewing the boys up at Cessnock at the Leeds Club. And they said, what do you like? Well, your best mates is brothers and all that sort of stuff, growing up and all that stuff. I said, you would catch the bus all the way to Maitland together and, living at Cessnock. It was probably a half-hour trip. And then Andrew goes, I remember this one day, because these guys are always characters on the microphone, and still this day, because they were best mates, best enemies, and the stories are just ridiculous, whether they're true or not. Because I still remember one day we're running across the school oval and there's a magpie attacked us. And Matt's scared of shit. Matt's always scared, he's saying. And I ran across and I jumped on the school bus. I turned around and Matt was face down on the ground on the oval, on primary school oval. And we had crossed the oval to go to the bus. So he was face down. So I went to school and, a couple of hours later, they come and said, Matt's not at school. No one can find Matt. Do you know where he is? He said, I was face down in the oval getting attacked by magpies last time I see. And he goes, well, can you jump on the bus back to Cessnock and get him, and make sure he's all right and all that sort of stuff. So Andrew said he caught the bus back to Cessnock, looked across school oval, ran across magpies trying to get him, but Matt wasn't there. He got home. Do you know a show called Days of Our Lives?
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So he walked in the house and he's watching Days of Our Lives, tickling his nuts with the feather duster. Whether
that stays on the podcast.
Whether it was true or not, who freaking knows? But that's just one of the best stories. And then when Andrew said it, he goes, mate, Hope Brady was a bloody good sort, mate. I love that.
Oh, mate, that's gold. Absolute gold. Mate, so good. So moving on in your final series, you guys went down to the Dragons in a 3-2 absolute thriller, but no tries, just a couple of penalties and a field goal. You just don't read of those sort of games anymore. That's crazy. What's the intensity like in a match like that?
Well, I played in only two of them, and the other one was 95 State of Origin, 2-0 Paddy Baldwin.
Yeah.
So, to have that much disinterest in the game for the crowd to show up and see a soccer game, that's pretty ordinary. We were no one was going to get near Brisbane that year. No one. Mate, Stephen off running length of field tries, Alan Can, just a little nugget about 2 foot tall, 100 kilo, just Alfie and Kevy. No one. So I'm probably lucky we didn't go into the grand final and get beaten like they did.
True.
But I found out in 1997 that if you play for a town, not a team, you're always going to win a grand final. But if you had a town versus town, it's going to be one hell of a grand final. If we're both playing to go back to it instead of a team, so it would have been more applicable that we got there. Some of the guys that just known to got talked about. If you come to Newcastle, you come to our stadium, you're going to walk away freaking sore the next morning because these guys, they could hit and they could hit harder. This guy called Dave Mullane, he didn't play in that, but he was a little solid. What did it say? Trevor Gilmore, the second rower. And
right.
Chisholm, a guy called Chisholm. I remember down in Sydney one day off the kickoff, he gives us the big front row. His front row was named someone Chisholm.
Wasn't it Dane? What, Dane Chisholm?
I don't know. Chisholm.
That rings a bell. But anyway.
South Sydney, yeah. And this Dave Mullane from the kickoff, he hit this bloke that hard that he went and vomited as he hit. And I'm at fullback going, oh, yay. Good. Is it, do I got to resuscitate this poor bastard? I just couldn't believe it happened. He just hit him that hard, he vomited.
Oh, my God.
yeah, we're just known to be a really hard hitting side, and these
Yeah.
guys are just violent in defence. And as little men in the back line, we become try scorers. We become why these guys hit them hard. We're rap dancing the end of it. So, to play in the game, I was my grandmother died as I was running the field, and there was a phone in the dressing room. David Waite rings up and says, "Oh, your grandma just died." I spent the week with grandma up in Cloundra. I got flown up in a helicopter to say goodbye to her. I said, "Just hang on to to this game. Once we play one last game," and she sort of tried to, and she died in the last, just before the game started. And David Waite thought he'd motivate by saying, "Your grandma
Okay.
just died." You can't motivate a 72-kilo kid. So anyway, I've gone out the field, and Mark Coyne spear tackled me. That sort of put me on my back. And as he put me on the back, he rolled over, and I ended up on my knees, and he's just gone like that thing, and it travelled about that far, I think, and it went straight on the every nose, and he got 16 stitches and a broken nose. And I got warned. He went off with blood coming out everywhere. You could see, and I got warned. That was our game back then. I got warned.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 years later, I'm sitting in the freaking State of Origin team with Mark Coyne, and he just would not talk to me. His nose was buckled up, but I ended up getting my own back in 2003 when I got the nose put inside of my face. So,
Oh yeah, I saw a photo of that. She's pretty
yeah,
nasty.
I know that was just a fry pan at home with the missus. That one, yeah, probably can't say that. Probably can't say that these days. Yeah, so I played the game scared, I think, because I
Okay.
knocked over the old corny, and the boys were chasing me. So I just hid the game and let the big boys take it on the middle, and we sort of lost by field goal. So
Far out. Yeah, man. That was a crazy game. But then the next couple of years, you guys missed the playoffs, but that was when Andrew and Matty, Andrew Johns came through the grades and he made his debut. Did he score like a record amount of points on debut or something, like 24 or something points? Absolutely carved up. And
yeah,
did you sort of think that that was going to be the dynasty yourself, the Johns brothers, for the next sort of 10 years? Like, did you instantly click and have that combination?
we did. And they talk about the spine in rugby league these days. The best spines in the game. Spine, this, spine, that.
Yeah.
We didn't use that. We didn't use that word back then. We just used drinking buddies.
Drinking buddies.
Yeah, whichever team could drink the hardest would win the game. So we trained to drink and train. I got written in the paper a couple of times, like the third Johns brothers. So we were that close that we sort of all knocked around, and we would have girlfriends rather than wives, which meant the girlfriend that could cook the most would all hang out at that person's house, which was now Trish Johns, which is Maddie's wife.
Right.
Because she got an ethnic background, she was the best pasta cooker. So we'd go to Maddie's place more than anyone to eat the pasta. Yeah, we gelled. I remember we were sitting at Marathon Stadium, which is obviously our stadium, Marathon Stadium, and we're running the field, and there's a family had just lost their kids. Just picture this, and everyone listen to this. Picture a picture of two kids taken off down the road in grandma's house, in grandma's car, waving to their mum and dad out back window. See, we're going to grandma's house, waving, and the mum's taking a Polaroid. You have to take it and get it developed. Taking a photo on the Sunday morning. Front of the paper was the photo of them kids waving to mum. Went 100 kilometres up the road and got hit by a truck and killed. They never see their kids ever again. So I've got on the radio and said, what, that broke me heart. I just had a kid, it broke me heart. And I said, I couldn't imagine that happened. I'm gonna get man and match today. I'm gonna get $1,000 to the Campbell family because any help, good help. So anyway, we're on the field, running on the field. And as we're on the field, there's a picture of Newcastle Knights jersey with a hand, and coming out of concrete was someone else's hand grabbing, and that was the earthquake. About the earthquake. So the earthquake, not Newcastle Knights pulled the town out of the earthquake. So we'd kiss it, tap it, and go play football. So as kiss and tap, Matty's hit me on the back and said, "Hey, he calls me Bobby the Greek. I'm freaking Aboriginal." So anyway, don't even know. He just reckons I look Greek, so he called me Bobby the Greek. So he goes, "Greek." He said, "Mate, I need that money." said, what? And we're running on 30,000 pounds. I said, what? Through the cheerleaders. I'm thinking to myself, maybe just let me perv on the cheerleaders. Let me have your time. And so I need the money. And I said, what money? He said, I need the man of the match. He said, I've got to pay a few bills. Okay. He goes, so you're not going to get it? I'm going to get it today. Well, fair enough. So anyway, we're on the field, and Matty Johnson's a multi-millionaire now, so he needs the money to pay a couple of bills. So running out, it wasn't a freaking phone bill because there's no phones. So we're running out, and as the kickoff goes, he looks at me and goes, just concentrate on the freaking game, Matty. It was against Gold Coast. You can do this shit against Gold Coast back then. So
Right.
Giants or whoever it was.
Anyway, the Seagulls back then.
Yeah. And Dale Shearer was my opposite fullback. So and I taught him and all that sort of stuff. So I wanted to have a big game. So anyway, I'd get tackled and go, that's not good enough, Greg. That's not good enough. And then he'd get tackled. I said, that's not good enough, Matty. So he's put me over for a short. No, Jason Martin. Take me to the top, Jason Martin. Give me a little short ball. He was halfback that day. Short ball underneath the post, scored, and I give him a bit of laugh to Matty, and he didn't even cuddle me. He just walked away back to halfway, going, shit, how am I going to get this back? Just after half time, we're down, there's a family end and there's a drinking end. Down the family end of the hill, right on the try line. And Matty goes, start me left-hand side, I'll give it to you halfway. Packing a scrum. What does he say? Just start me left-hand side, I'll give it to you halfway. Rightio. So this Jason Martin comes around, gives it to Matty, and Matty went in a young kid. His name was Craig Weston. He went up and played Penrith, Parramatta, and he went bang, bang, bang. Even though it's three-step, gone. And I've just lingered on the outside of him, and halfway he gave it to me, and I went away and scored. So I ran back, I just jumped at him with Dale Shearer trying to knock the ball out underneath my arm because I scored. I said, how'd you know that? He said, well, I knew that bloke couldn't tackle. And I also knew I couldn't run 100 metres because my ass was too big, and you could. so just to visualise the game of rugby league the way Matty did that day, I always thought he was going to be a superstar. Andrew didn't say a word for 5 years. For 5 years, he'd just come along as a larrikin. Wouldn't say a word on the field. The minute Matty left, Joey opened his mouth. And Matty, it was clever because Joey was that clever. He was getting educated by his brother. He was getting educated how to play the game on the field, the way vision, all that sort of stuff. And he not only become better than him, he become a better leader because he took what he knew and what he seen and took what Matt taught him and become the player he was. So yeah, it was good being part of that bloody era. And we were young, hungry kids. And when Mel really come over to coach us, the Pom, he was coaching. He was coaching grand finals. He knew. He came over and said, mate, I'm a tough bastard. I'm going to teach you how to be tough, but you're going to teach me how to win. And maybe we did. We just got out there, and I found out pretty quickly that there was a movie that came out called Show Me the Money, Rod Tidwell, and Tom Cruise, I think it was. And I just found out, mate, these guys are superstars. How do I match with these superstars? And this Rod Tidwell was the same. He was just boring, but he was, a really good player. And Tom Cruise said, show me the money, dance. So he danced and become, the highest paid player in the game. So I always went, oh, fuck, that worked. I'm going to go out and do a dance. So I went out and started dancing, and all of a sudden, the popularity. So I just danced my way through grand finals. True story. Honest true story.
Oh, yeah. So moving on to 1995, as you said, you made your State of Origin debut for Queensland. You went on to win a very unlikely series clean sweep. You said there was a 2-0 victory. How special was it getting that first Queensland jersey, man? Like, I know you're Queensland hard, you're passionate. Just what's it like when you're still pretty young in your career and you're running out to play State of Origin?
It's everything you want to do. And even though, like I said, I was born in New South Wales, I was living in Queensland for a long time, like 15 years, long time. And Wally, Wally was part of it, and Dad was a shadow player. Like I said, mentioned my dad. He was a shadow player for the first ever State of Origin. His claim to fame is that Les Boyd was his favourite player, and Dad got put on standby for Darryl Broman because Darryl Broman was sick that week in Origin, and Dad put on standby. And Dad's claim to fame was that could have been him that got the elbow on the chin that Les Boyd gave Darryl Broman. So running out there in 95 was pretty cool. It just surreal to say the same. When you get on the field and you have that much energy and that much adrenaline, you put it not going to see many women listen to this, I guess, but you put it in perspective to a woman having a baby. A woman, it's that much pain involved, but your adrenaline level's that high that gives you amnesia. Can't really remember it. And that's why the silly buggers go back and have more babies. And it was like that. It's like it's the adrenaline's so high that it gives you can't even remember the game. Just go out and play it. And it wasn't for freaking DVDs and beta videos and whatever we watched back then. You wouldn't remember the game. But I've got 1,000 yarns for every freaking part of my life, like my father. I remember we went in and Paddy goes, boys, as soon as you look at Paddy, you think, this guy's a fucking idiot, straight up, you know. And my roommate was Billy Moore, Queensland. Okay. You know? So Billy Moore's first roommate for 3 years, now being their best mate in the world. And Paddy goes, rugby league's a simple game complicated by idiots. So don't be a fucking idiot. And that was the first thing he said. I went, holy shit. So he goes, and this is how simple it is. You score tries and kick goals. That's how you win. Score tries, kick goals. You know? Right. We're going, well, hang on. What happens if it's a nil or draw? And the boys are trying to solve the problem because we're all thick as bricks. What happens if nil or draw? Like, I think it was Trevor Gilmas, the captain, and he come up with it. And he goes, did you lose? We go, oh, sweet. So we won the first game fucking 2-0, right? Anyway, as we come in the dressing room after the game, and he goes, I can't believe that speech worked.
What a legend.
Kick the goal. He said if they don't cross our line, if they don't cross our line, that's how we finish it. If they don't cross our line, we win. And that's what he said. What about nil or draw? And that's it. So and when they didn't cross our line, he goes, I can't believe that speech worked. It was funny. Mate, little things like Benny Eichen. I was actually live. Yeah. As we're getting out on that floor, the sixth floor, which belonged to the Queenslanders and Travel Lodge, and pushed Benny Eichen back in the lift. Goes, oh, Sonny Origin players. He said, my name's Benny Eichen. I'm in the team. And oh shit, sorry mate, didn't know you were. And so that's how surreal that was. He didn't even know who he picked. He didn't even know what the players looked like. And Benny Eichen was playing reserve grade for North Sydney Bears. So that. There's a billion stories you sit here and tell and take hours and hours about how legendary that side was. And Billy Moore tells a good yarn quickly. He goes, and this is true. He said, we drunk for 8 days. We sobered up in the night. Yeah, we sobered up in the ninth and we won on the 10th. That's exactly what he said. And that was the first game. Drunk for 8 days, sobered up in the ninth and won on the 10th. Crazy.
Oh, good.
Crazy. Yeah, too good.
What was it like though, being the one Queenslander amongst all your Newcastle teammates? You know, so I always actually thought that as a young fella growing up, that because you played for Newcastle, you had the Johns boys and all the big guns in your forward pack, Adam Ewers and all of them. Yet you always played for Queensland. I could never figure that one out, And so what's it like coming up against your teammates? There has to be some rivalry, right?
Yeah, the two Jones boys, and it didn't really worry me the Johnsies there because we were. I needed them guys on the field; they needed me. So when it came back to club level, it was all forgotten pretty quick. But there's one, and Adam Muir was my offloader. So he made till to this day. Adam Muir made me the player I was because he was. What pissed me off, I was that fit that I'd back up every single player. But he was my offloader. Chief at the end of his career become the guy would drop it on the ground. And I'd say to him, if you can't get it to me, just drop it on the ground. And I'll pick the basket up. It's the same as an offload. I said, I'll get and go because I'm, like a sports car close to the ground. I'm that short that I tried to sue the council one day for building the footpath too close to my ass. So that's how fucking short I am. So I've so Adam was my offload. So he come back and we worked together, hand in hand. But Chief fucking hated Queensland. And through that whole period of 95 to 97, 99, he just wouldn't talk to me. But our wives were best mates. And we lived across the road from each other. But I couldn't see the beach because his freaking house was too big. But and he would invite me for in his what is it? They call it steam room. He'd invite me in his swimming pool. He'd invite me in his spa bar. He'd go to his fucking gym in his house, his big bar. All I had was, just a shower at my house. So he invited me in all these, and we're best mates. And all of a sudden, he actually said to him, Robbie, we're sitting in the steam room, you're my best mate. I said, why is that, Chief? And he goes, you just never ever ask how I'm going and what I'm doing and whether you want something off me and all that. So we just sit here and we just talk. And we talk about football and sweet. So we're best mates apparently.
How good.
Yeah, he lives 100 metres that way this day. Brett Mullins lives 100 metres that way. And then Tim Brasher lives 100 metres that way. So the two fullbacks I hate, Brash and freaking Mullows live 100 metres up in Newcastle.
Awesome.
Believe it or not.
Newcastle.
Yeah. Wow. So Chief didn't speak to me. And didn't really matter because I didn't need Chief. I just needed to knock people out in front of me so I could score twice. So it wasn't a big thing. At the end of that 97 series, Chief comes up and goes, when Tommy Rodonigus coached.
Yes.
Yeah, so Chief comes up to me randomly and goes, did Tommy F your auntie? That's the first thing he said. I went, what? He goes, did Tommy sleep with your auntie? No, why? He goes, we're doing this whiteboard. I said, we've done the whiteboard too. So I think Paddy was still coaching, maybe, Mark Murray. So he said, we did the whiteboard too. And he goes, oh yeah. He said, what did it say about me? And he said, I just take him around the ankles, feels like a big bag of shit because you go, Paul Harrigan, positives, negatives. That's what you do on the whiteboard. There's no freaking computers back then. It's like no study. It's just like look on the whiteboard before a game. So the plays are on the whiteboard. The players are on the whiteboard. And drawing crosses and O's and just imagine.
Yeah.
So it says, I said, tell me what's going on, Chief? He said, well, Robbie O'Davis, Brett Dallas, Mark Coyne, Denny Moore, Blumman, all the way down. I said, is that the one that 97 we went back to ARL Super League again. So 96 they all come back 97. And he goes, well, I said Robbie O'Davis by FD's Arnie. Tommy wrote by FD's Arnie. And Brett Dallas, very quick, don't kick to him. I know Mark Coyne, big right foot step. He said, so that's all it said about him. I said, really? And he said, so did he? I said, very do I know? So I said, wait till I get home because I'll ring Dad on the 20-cent payphone. I've got to ring Dad when I get home. So I rang Dad and I said, Dad, did Tommy's, because Tommy's best mate, did he ever sleep with your sister or Mum's sister or something? And he goes, well, TJ. I'm like, TJ? He said, TJ, TJ got hit by a bus at the age of 10 months. He walked on the road and a bus hit him. And and he said he got hit by another bus at the age of 17. He's riding his bike on the road and got hit by another bus. He had brain damage.
Unbelievable.
And Dad said he still reckons the same bus driver come back to finish the job. So he said, and we got brain damage, this young kid, TJ. I said, TJ, Kathleen's kid. And I said, Kathleen? He said, his sister, Kathleen, he's 220 kilo worth of woman. She's Auntie Harley, we call her, because she rides a Harley Davidson covered in tattoos and cooks up in the mines up in Queensland. So Auntie Harley, I said, oh yeah. He goes, she's got TJ. He said, yeah. He goes, what do you think TJ stands for? TJ? He goes, Tommy Jr. It's his kid. I said, so Tommy did fuck me. So I told Chief, I said, yeah, Chief, yeah. So that was the first thing he said back in the Origin. Other than that, he wouldn't speak to you through the whole of Origin. So yeah, Tommy, it's Uncle Tommy. It was Uncle Tommy.
Oh, that's hilarious! Wow. Oh,
Very
Tommy, I've heard some stories about him on the podcast. I tell you,
very good, very good,
hilarious stuff. So you played in 12 state Origin matches for Queensland. What did it mean for you to represent your state and play at such a high level? Was that the pinnacle for you as a kid, to play state of origin, or also to play for the Kangaroos, to get to those highest rec levels?
Well, are you a Kiwi?
I am a Kiwi.
Okay, so it's the one
different
thing that you guys, to the Super League area, did get a chance to feel that, but it just wasn't the same.
Not the same.
Yeah, to put three teams in instead of two. Like every Kiwi that plays the game would love to play. So of course they would love to play state of origin. To play that, you get hit for 80 minutes. They don't miss for 80 minutes. And even the last minute, the other night, the last minute of the game, they're behind by freaking 30 points, and they're still bashing the shit out of each other. So it's just the best players being the best players, and if their pride says they're going to keep competing for all that time, even I'm saying it's as simple as taking 3 steps off the line instead of 5 and retreating or moving sideways. And if you do that sort of shit, of course Latrell's going to tear you apart or, so the guy with the ball in his hand. And Queensland did to them in the first game. And then the last game is going to be so good because there's going to be both teams going to be taking 5 metres and then adjusting with footwork, not adjusting with freaking sideways lateral movement. So because that's the way you have to win the game. You have to attack and defence. So when you got the best players in the game beside each other, and like the Kiwis when they got the best players beside each other, the game's almost easy. It becomes a clash, for the cameras. But the game's almost easy because everyone knows where to run. Everyone knows where to be. Everyone knows because that's what. But when you got the best players playing the best players within Queensland and New South Wales, I'm not saying the Kiwis don't match that. When you got the best players line up, you're forgetting where to run because the nervous energy says, I'm an individual. Today, you have to be an individual. And the side that has the best individual performances, and coach is going to hate this, and dad's going to hate this because they said, it's a team sport. It's a fucking team sport. Yeah, you win as a team, you celebrate as a team, but the team that has the best individual performances on the day and the most individual performance wins the game. Simple as that. You go out as a fucking Origin player and you play your ass off. All right, you play out, you tackle the shit out of somebody because that's your job. That's an individual performance. If your individual performance is you're the best offloader in the game, you offload, you just are the best. You're the best stepper, you're the best runner. So everyone has their own individual brilliance. And in Origin, team that creates that individual brilliance, at the end of the game, you say, New South Wales had 7 great performances. Queensland had 2. That's the way we won. First state of Origin, Queensland had 5 state of great players. New South Wales had 2. So that's the way you win, by individual performance. So your job playing all them games was go out to be an individual and celebrate as a team. You prepare as a team, you celebrate as a team, but you just play. And I just like the fact that every time I left the field in the state of Origin, I thought to myself, I was individually brilliant that day. I just thought that was my time. That was I didn't listen to the crowd. I just knew that I was supposed to be in that place at the right period of time. So you make a few mistakes and you assess yourself on the field with the mistakes you make with dropping the ball in attack or, someone put the freaking rib cage through your arsehole, but that's just part of the game. But so the biggest regret would be supplements that I took back in the game. I was already playing for Australia. I had no reason to cheat. I'm probably going to get to that part anyway. So getting put out for that steroid use when the thing wasn't even banned. So my testosterone levels raised because we didn't have no energy drinks. I just had a brand new baby and I was the fittest person in the comp. All of a sudden I wasn't getting up 5 o'clock in the morning doing extras. I was just going to my normal training runs because I had a freaking ass to wipe and a baby to feed. So I was just reading something one day and said the breast pro hormone is just stuff that EAS, biggest supplement company in the world, was selling, which is the biggest supplement company, aren't going to put something that's illegal in the shelf. So I went to the local freaking pharmacy, got this stuff, and I put my testosterone levels way up over whatever it's going, which same supplement these days is you buy it from the shop down the road. So like I said, I had no reason to cheat and all that sort of stuff, and that cost me Darren Lockyer. I was fullback for Australia, fullback for Queensland, and when I got put out of the game, entered Darren Lockyer. Now from Brisbane to my hometown Toowoomba, there's a Lockyer highway. There could have been O'Davis highway.
Could have been.
But in Toowoomba, where I can't get, in Toowoomba, there's Sportsman's Parade, the big Sportsman's Parade. The guy called Clive Churchill made the Sportsman's Parade, and I've got my own street name, O'Davis Street. It runs off fucking Lockyer Street, doesn't it?
You're kidding me.
But it runs into Gilmester Street. And
nice.
Yeah, so there's Lockyer, O'Davis, Gilmester. And I rang Gilly one day and I said, we've got a street named after. He said, really? I said, yeah, it's got a brothel on the corner, mate. And he believed me. He believed me. Pretty good.
Oh, mate. So speaking of Australia, what did it mean to you, like when you pulled on that first green and gold jersey in 1995 against the Kiwis? I believe you gave us a hiding. What's it like to hear your national anthem stand there proudly representing your country?
Well, I was pissed at the time because I thought I was a good fullback. They put me on the wing.
Okay.
And, yeah, we weren't having the best time with shit. It wasn't Bill Harrigan. Yeah, it might have been, and it wasn't having the best time. And when I ran away and scored the try, I think I stepped inside Jared McCracken and Gene Namu to run away in the corner, and I was sitting on the right wing, pretty much like the first game in 1992, just trying. It's a Lang Park. I was just trying to get a touch, trying to get something, just so I could enter the game. And I got the call. Said Bozo said you got to have a run. Oh, all right then. So I pissed off the other side of the field and got in dummy half and ran away and scored. And still got the whole video. And Bozo's just chucked his little thing. Fucking Christ, he's had a run, this kid. So he obviously knew the talent I had. But I've done nothing. But that until that time, I would stand in the middle of Lang Park and watching players that I admired. I love Crackers. I love Gene Namu. I love the players that are playing for them. I love the players that are playing next to me. And I was just sitting there. I still remember Spud Carroll and watching the guys in the dressing room, watching their mannerisms, the way they psyched up for the game, where they move, and all that sort of stuff. Spud Carroll, double knucking, in front of the mirror. I was going for the let's kiss. I was going for a piss. So and he had this stupid fucking chain, and he had a football on the end of it. His gluten chain. On these ones, as I walked around the corner, I had this. I turned around, and the fucking football gone down his throat and was choking him. So we're fucking giving it the fine. So this is before he's fucking. I've never.
Wow.
So that was days. So that made me give me nervous energy because all of a sudden we had this sustained
good
God. Crazy looked over guys like Cliffy Lyons sitting on the freaking massage table smoking cigarettes, and it's pretty surreal, pretty amazing. I'll tell you quickly, best with Spud. I'll talk about the best performances in the dressing room. So in 96, start of 97, Manly had just won Grand Final 96. We're up at Tamworth playing Balmain, and Adam McDougall comes over and goes, "What are them shoes, mate?" I said, "Lotto, kangaroo leather." He goes, "How many pairs have you got?" I said, "Boris Becker. I've got three. I've got three in my bag. I've got three freaking tennis rackets. I've got three in my bag, mate." He goes, "Come on, a pair?" Yes. So I'll give him a pair of Lotto boots. He puts them on. Rightio. So runs out in the warm up. I tore my hemi. And I went, "Oh, shit." So I'm out of the game. So they said, "Oh, Dukes, can you go fullback?" And, a young kid coming through at the time. And they put him at fullback. And I was sitting in the dressing room, head down, because Tim Brasher was out in the field and I wanted to play Brash. And it's only a trial match. It was a challenge cup, they call it. So I was doing these ones and a bit filthy. Anyway, at Tamworth, there was two parts of the dressing room, that way and that way. And I'm around that way. And I seen me, the kangaroo leather Lotto boots, come up the middle and hit the freaking wall. And he went around that corner and he goes, I can hear this, 3 hard months. 3 hard months, you bastards. I train you, I feed you, fucking kick you. He clapped me down. So I walked around the corner, picked my boots up, and there's Dukes there. And he's talking to his legs. So I said, "Dukes, what are you doing?" He goes, "Fucking ask them." And I went, "What?" He said, ask me legs what's going on. "All right, what's going on, legs?" He goes, "Fucking cramps. Cramps, mate. 5 minutes max." Okay, I said, "Well, don't throw me boots, mate. Jesus Christ, they're $150 pair of boots, mate." So anyway, by the time we got to the nightclub that night, I was just sort of having a beer because that's just what you did back then. Had beer, torn hammy, had to play Manly the next week, which was important, obviously. So being in premiers, so I thought that's more important than playing brass. Having a drink, and I started telling guys that you just don't tell stories to because they're like a hairdressing salon, best rumour mill of all time. So I walked over to a guy called Mark Hughes and 2 guys called the Jones brothers. And I walked over and told the Joneses and Mark Hughes that this is what happened in the dressing room. So enter Matty and Andrew on the footy show back in the day when it was good. And Fatty goes, "Tell me about this young McDougall." what a player he is in the first couple of games. He's just tearing the comp apart. He's gone down. I heard he played for East last year and all that sort of stuff. And Matty goes, oh, mate, is that bloody good? He even talks to his legs before the game. And I'm the only one that's ever seen it. So Matty goes, whoa, hang on. And they started wandering off into another conversation. I wish I could see it on Facebook, on Fatty's show now. He goes, oh, Matty, stop there. He goes, what did you just say? And that's exactly what Fatty goes. And Matty goes, oh, yeah, he talks to his legs. And Fatty goes, he talks to his legs. So anyway, that's how the story goes. A week later, they said, we've got to get this guy on the show. So he gets Dukes on the show, and he was very quiet at the time. And halfway through the interview, Fatty goes, so anyway, Adam, you talk to your legs and all that sort of stuff. And he goes, no, I don't. And Fatty goes, well, Jonty said last week you talked to your legs. I said, no, you're picking legs. So next day in the paper, Adam McDougall talks to his legs because, there was, even he said, no, I don't. And next day in the paper, Adam McDougall talks his legs. It looks like he's making the origin side and all that sort of stuff. So it was that publicised by the time he got to and this is what I said, the best thing that's apparently seen in the dressing room was it got that publicised that he talks to his legs. But I'm the only bastard ever seen it. So he's got in and he's watching all the boys. Apparently he's doing it again. He's watching all the boys. But the boys out of the corner eyes are watching him. He's doing these first origin, doing these ones. But all the boys watching him because they think that he talks to his legs. So Dukes goes, fuck it. He said, I looked down and went, come on, boys, today's your day. Today's the day, boys. Started popping his legs. But that's the only time he's ever talked to his freaking legs was that day in the dressing room. So that would have to be the best. I didn't even see it when he'd done it in Origin, but yeah, pump it up. Today's your day. Today's your boy. And then he wrote on his arm. He wrote on his arm, instead of putting moves on his arm, it said strength, power, aggression, legs.
Oh, so good, man. So good, man. These stories are gold. Like you just wouldn't hear these other ones. So good.
The thing is, mate, I've got early dementia. I can't remember what I'd done 5 minutes ago, but I can remember every. The stories I've told before, but I still remember the bastards. And I can sit on a microphone all day and tell story after story after story, but I could drive down the road and fall asleep in a car park, like I said before. So I can't remember.
Crazy.
Shit about 5 minutes. Yeah, it is crazy. It is crazy. So I think it's just because I've told the stories that many times or something. Not that one. That's a good one. I like that. I'll use that. But yeah, I'll sit here and just if you lead me into these, stories, I'm going to sit here for hours, and obviously you haven't got hours. So.
Yeah, it's good question skills.
Yes, thanks.
So you were selected to play on the bench for that World Cup final victory against England, but you didn't get on the park in that 95 World Cup final. So just how filthy were you? Or did you just accept that that's footy sometimes?
It wasn't filthy because I seen Marsha Hines. So walking down the tunnel, and I didn't play in the first game either. I won number 14 the first game with the Proms beat us. But we've been drunk for 3 or 4 weeks straight, and then we played. My roommate was John Iwadi, so I probably couldn't play anyway because my ass was that sore. But no, just take it anyway. We'd come from the grand final to go on freaking England, and I remember Wayne Bartram.
Yep.
They stopped it in Hawaii, in Hong Kong, and said the whole lot of speaking up the plane. We said, "What's going on?" They said, "Oh, one of the boys have said something to one of the hostesses. We've got to get off." So right, so Bozo's gone out and sorted it out, and we're back on the plane. We're heading off again. And the Australian cricket team was on the plane as well, so there was a big drink, a real big drink. No Dave Boone, but there was a big drink. Anyway, I said, "What's happened?" They said, "Oh, Bardo said to one of the air stewards because he was Asian, she couldn't understand him. So he said, "Oh, show me your black, show me your putty." So he was pissed, and then said, "Oh shit, how'd you get out of that?" Because they let him out with guns. Honestly, yeah. He said, "Oh, I was saying that. I'm saying, can you give me a black Zambuki? I need a black Zambuka." So that's how we got back on the place. So anyway, we went over there and we're pretty much drunk for 1 or 2 weeks and sort of like the bloody Origin sober up and play but we didn't sober up enough, and the Poms beat us in the first game. We went on and got through the final against them, and I sat on the sideline for that one. I sat on the sideline. But as we were walking out through the tunnel, we looked over and, the Poms are massive, big units. There's no freaking drug bands over there. I'm looking at these Poms, and once again, to play against Aussies, they had to take something because it wasn't their sport. And I looked over, and the Poms are there, and all of a sudden, up in the middle of us, Marshall Hines walks on. Jason Smith, Smithy, Marshall Hines. He goes, oh, yeah. I fucking love Marshall Hines. He goes, I'm trying 100,000 Poms in the middle of the stadium, mate. I'm like, sweet. Amazing Marshall. Anyway, we'll get in the middle of the stadium, and she sung the national anthem of both countries, sung the God Save the Queen and, Advanced Australia. So I'm just watching her the whole time. It's like porcelain, like a big porcelain doll. It was that smooth and that big, and her shoulders. Oh, she's a beautiful woman. And as I was perving my eyes and giving these ones to Jason Smith beside me, because both teams didn't face the crowd; they faced each other during the national anthem.
Right.
So that was just the way. That wasn't the haka coming at bloody Australia, but the same way they do it. It was like us just looking at them. Someone turn the camera.
Weird.
It's becoming uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Awkward. Adrian Morley, Sarah and Adrian Morley going, oh, this is really uncomfortable. As I was looking at Marsha, I'm thinking, this is so incredible. I love the woman. I love the songs and all that. So I was saying, hello, how you going? Hello, how you going? Sweet. Watching Marsha. And then they go, thank you, Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip. I just took a freaking Queensland. I was too busy looking at Marsha. Unreal. And I bought a servo up the road here, and Marsha married a doctor. And I walked into Dad one day, and Dad was running my servo for me. I said, Dad, why is there one loaf of lavish bread? And he goes, oh, that bloody woman off the Idol show comes in and gets it every freaking day. Woman off the Idol show? He goes, yeah, it comes in every freaking day. I said, oh, so you had 10 loaves and you sell them? And he said, no, I just had one for her. I said, what the hell off the Idol show? Yeah, Marsha freaking Marsha Hines. He goes, yeah, she lives 100 meters. I said, shit. So after, this is 2002, 2003 when I bought the servo, Marsha Hines would come to buy lavish bread for my servo every single day. And then I talked to her one day, I went, Marsha, you know that you sang the national anthem, World Cup, I couldn't believe it. And she goes, oh my God, love, I've sung that many gigs in my life at that stadium, I don't know. I said, it's like World Cup. No, anyway, she goes, I don't follow Rugby League, but I know my husband likes you. That's it, right? Yeah. Then all of a sudden, Luke Rickerson starts dating his daughter, and she found out Rugby League pretty quick then.
I bet she did.
Yeah. But yeah, just being part of them Australian sides, like I said, it was an origin. It was the best players playing against the best players. Sorry, there was best players playing beside the best players. And Kiwis was still, it's still an introduction level for them back then. They're that disciplined and that's high skilled, and it comes through guys like Johnson and guys like Benji that were the best touch players in the world. And that football, I can run around the park, but I can't be touched, I can't be tackled. And that's the attitude them two Barses had. They just still to this day, he still rips the comp apart. Even though the young fella's going good at the moment and Johnson lost his first game back, it doesn't matter. But then that's it. They come in with not bash and bars like back in the Jimmy Gould and all them sort of. They come in with a real. We're going to get these rap dancers come in and do what they do to out of the game of touch football. And it was when the Kiwis started beating Australia in touch football, mate. That's when Rugby League evolved. Believe it or not, because the touch players were so freaking good, and they went with the attitude they can't touch us, they're not going to tackle us. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Exactly.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, man. So 1995. So after the World Cup, well, during that season, the Super League war sort of all starts breaking out. You've got News Limited, you've got the ARL. They're all fighting over the clubs, but Newcastle somehow found itself being one of the most important clubs.
I know where you're going with this.
Yeah. So basically, let's talk about the bus trip. Let's talk about the whole Super League war. But how was it being part of Newcastle? the fight for Newcastle basically, changed the course of history in rugby league because you guys stayed with ARL. So how did it all
Yeah.
break down for you?
Like other than Brisbane, I suppose we had the biggest supporter base, so it was important we kept Brisbane and us there. The bus trip became the shape of the Johns boys and Paul Harry getting offered a massive amount of money. So Chief was the only one that held a bus license. So hence why he drove the freaking bus. So he drove us down there. And on the way down, we called into a pub to a bottle shop and get a shitload of piss. So we put alcohol in the bus. And the team went down and they just, soon as 24-seater bus, it's a half bus. It was like a little Harvey Norman bus it was. We went down in this Harvey Norman bus. And there was that much grog on the bus that I don't even know if I put it there. I think we all tucked in maybe. That when we got to the ARL headquarters, Chief and the two Johns boys got off, went in, and we all stayed on the bus. We just got drunk, and they got back on the bus. We drove back to Newcastle, so we didn't know what freaking happened. All they just went on. So we still to this day, we're all that drunk. We didn't know what happened. That night, Jamie Ainscoe and I went up with the same manager in to speak to Michael O'Connor. That was heading the charge from Super League. And they said, we've just lost the Johns brothers. We're going to offer a contract to you guys. They're Johns brothers. And I wasn't in there with Jamie. I was sitting out the back, and Jamie went in first, and we sort of come out. I went, Ainsy, what's going on? He ended up being the best man at my second wedding. He walks out without knowing what he'd done. So I walked in, I'm just listening. I'm going, I know exactly what John's got offered. So I'm just going, holy shit, you're giving it to me? And I was like, well, they were up and coming too, the Johns boys and me. So they were, I suppose, no bigger profile than I was. It's just the profile was bigger because they were brothers.
Yeah.
Like, shit, I could play for 1 year retirement. So I just went, listen, I'll get back to you. And I said, did Jamie sign? And they said, no, he didn't. I think about it. Oh, shit, I'll walk out too. So about 7 or 8 o'clock, and this was 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, just so there was no press. We sort of hit into this motel. About 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning, Ainsley rang up and said, can you come to the stadium? 20-cent payphone. Can you come to the stadium? I'm heading over. So he said, all the boys at the stadium. So really, so 14 there, the whole team was there. What's going on? And the team just all signed together. They all had the contracts there. Boom, boom, boom. Was oh shit. And I don't mind. It doesn't really worry me because I lost a whole lot of the basket, but I've lived the life of 20 men. I've picked up $100,000 check, pen, $100,000 check, and signed a $300,000 contract.
Nice.
Crazy. And like I said, went to Sizzler and ate cheese bread for a month. It was just like 100,000. Never seen anything like that. So it was just surreal. And I was nothing. I hadn't even done anything. So it was just pretty amazing part. But like I said earlier, we're young kids, taken out of school, uneducated, and we blew the freaking lot. So yeah, weren't managed very well at all.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy because you guys are on like, $15,000 contracts or $10,000 contracts, and you go all the way up to $300,000 contracts.
5, 7, 10. Yep, crazy. And the only way to make
Crazy.
more money was win or loss bonuses.
Right.
So give can't speak too loud, but give the players these days. I was going to say a few certain players in the Knights. I said give them win loss bonuses these days. If you don't win, you don't get paid. And watch how good they play. So we become a great side, Newcastle Knights, because if we'd have Chief or Sarge or some one day training, Robbie McCormack said, "Boys, I've got to pay some bills. We got to start winning." And because it was like 1,200 to win, 600 a draw, nothing a loss. And we've got to start winning, boys. We've got to get paid. And that's how we got a winning culture within Newcastle Knights, yeah. And then all of a sudden you get paid win, lose, or draw, and they stand in the middle of the freaking field and talk after the game after they get beaten by 50 points. They're still laughing and joking, talking about the wives and kids, and I just don't get it. And we'd walk off. Tony Butterfield would punch in the head before he'd freaking take your hand if he lost the game. But that's just the way it was, mate. Yeah, so times change, huh? Times change.
Yeah. Yes, so I think, obviously 1997, a massive year. The Knights, like, it's such a fairy tale. I've never got to speak to a player until today. Obviously, that was from the Knights that was in that. I've spoken to Craig Field, but he was on the losing side. It's just like the fairy tale for Newcastle to be the club that's so fought over. They were loyal to ARL. You guys go into that 1997 season, and you finish second on the ladder, and then go into the final against Manly, and the unthinkable happened. It was just, I still just get chills watching the fight, the highlights of that final. So, like, what can you tell us about that season and that grand final? How emotional it was, and those final few minutes of the game, and you scored a double, you got the man of the match, like all of that stuff. It's just incredible, that piece of history. It's unbelievable. Tell us all about it.
Yeah. Where do you start? The build up
I
to
know.
it, in that week, just everywhere you go, there'd be hundreds of thousands. And when lead us out of town was 100,000. When lead us back into town, it's 100,000 people, but hundreds of thousands of people just everywhere we go for everything. And I said talk about pedestal earlier on. That's pedestal. That's just like Christ, become a household name straight away. But the difference between then and now is that we were from this town. And we got accepted because we're part of them. I was adopted to this town. These guys these days just come to town to get paid and piss off again. So we didn't do that back then. So we come from this town, Cessnock, 3 or 4 blokes from Cessnock and all that sort of stuff. Newcastle boys being Chief. Anyway, we head down there and Chief makes this big speech the night before the game and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, we're going to come back and, you can't leave without that trophy, a pocket and all that sort of stuff. Very emotional speech, made everyone sort of blurt out. We went through the whole team, what it means to them, all that sort of stuff. And a couple of boys had a bit of a cry and whatever else, which inspired us a little bit. Before the game, we got in a huddle, and Mel really left us in this huddle, and we needed something cheap. Not the speech he told the night before. We needed something cheap. Like, we're going to grab his Bud Carroll and going to put his head to freaking hell. Just anything. The Chief told the same speech he told the night before. And we're sitting there going, not what we want. We've already heard this bloody speech. So me just personally just sitting there going, shit, nervous tension still. I need to relax. So anyway, enter Matty Johns again. I only remember him because he's a freaking larrikin. Enter Matty Johns, he's that clever. And he had this nervous tension. He needed to break the nervous tension as much as you all did. And he goes, yeah, good speech, Chief. Good on you, mate. Big time. He goes, listen, boys, George Clooney. And we went, what? He goes, let's just be gorgeous like George Clooney. And that's exactly what Matty said. Let's be gorgeous like George Clooney. And everyone laughed, and we chucked in our hands in the middle, and 1, 2, 3 Knights. And then the field. So the last thing said on the field was, let's be gorgeous like George Clooney from Matty Johns. And it made everyone giggle and just lowered this tension. Went out there, and first 10 minutes, we didn't realise that what Chief had done in the dressing room was held in this anger that he was going to expel on the field. In that first 10 minutes, mate, I still talk now that him and Adam Muir got a couple of rib cages as well, but what Chief done in that first 10, 15 minutes was almost surreal. I remember him slamming Jeff Tuvey on the ground and punching Spud Carroll on the head at exactly the same time. I've never seen that like it. He was out of control. He was hitting guys around the head and just sitting in the back. I'm just going, shit, what am I going to do? So they went to kick the touch. I think Fields went to kick. I talked to Fields the other day to make sure his mental health's all right. After put out the big house, whatever else. He went to kick the touch and didn't make touch. And before the game, I walked in the field and went, shit, this is soft as freaking field. I don't want to stuff up. I've got the old screw-in tags. So I had 2-inch tags in my bag. And I went, I'm going to put these freaking 2-inch tags in. That's highly illegal. There you go. You're only allowed 1 inch to 1.5 inches on. I'll put this 2 inch. So I put the big long bastards in there. And on the field. And Matty John still talks about the first touch of that game. Robbie O'Davis got man of the match. His first touch was just so surreal. What happened was Fields didn't get out. I've ran, and in the back play, Jeff Tuvey had just been knocked out by Chief. So he's on the ground. He's getting water. And as in the trainer decided, so I've caught it and ran halfway in the middle of the field, and I stepped on my left foot, and these things dug in the ground. And like I said, it was a little bit long grass and been a little bit wet or something. And as it dug in the ground, I just fucking shot off through this gap. I'm gone. And everyone sort of sliding along. I'm gone. If it wasn't the twos in the background, I would have scored off my first touch. I tripped over him. So, but the rest of the game was, for me, personally, it belonged to them freaking boots. When I come under and pull Owen Craigie up, and if you watch the replay, my right foot dug into the ground and shot me 2 meters to the left. And it put me straight on the outside of Terry Hill. And I'm not Danny Moore was looking at freaking Adam McDougall, which I would too. And I'm laughing away the try line because, mate, I just couldn't believe it all happened. And Fatty goes, "Oh, look at him laughing. Here you are." And then the other one, I got the ball and I spun on this massive big boots. So I spun on this, and as I spun around, Shannon Evan tried to get hold of me. Spud put his big ass on my head, and I leaked out and scored that second try because them boots held their line. There's just these two
Didn't know that.
Grand final, mate, just like Melbourne Storm, we're going to take the grand final off you for not cheating, but just using them big studs.
Mate, you were unbelievable.
That was crazy. We come back into town and went to the Workers' Club, and there was a horse, 100,000 people at Workers' Club. Imagine a horse leading with Sir Rusty, the knight on the back of the horse, leading the bus through the crowd. Mate, it just took one person, could have smacked that freaking thing on the ass, and it would have pig rooted and knocked half the freaking crowd out. So just everyone let the horse go, everyone let the bus go. By the time the bus pulled up, people on the roof of the bus, people on top of cop cars, and I actually said a couple of cops, like, "Is that normal?" Like, they said, "We're as pissed as the crowd. We're just all we're watching it back in this thing too." So it's not good to say that. But yeah, just I remember Chief had the big trophy and it's doing these ones over the top of the young over the top of all these people. Like, it's 100 kilo fucking trophy, and he's just doing these ones. The bouncer come up and jumped on him and said, "Mate, don't do that." I then realised we had the false trophy. So the false trophy is worth 10 kilos. It's that a little plastic one we did for these ones. They thought they had to save him from the 100 kilo trophy. He dropped it. Someone was captain to throw back up again. Yeah, so they've actually got two. So hence why I couldn't figure out why Penrith got fined for disrespecting the trophy a couple of years ago, pushing in prams. When it was just the 10 kilo trophy. It's the fake one.
But
obviously the public know about it. Yeah, like they're not going to move the freaking big it's a replica.
Yeah. So about that last minute of the game, that was just, you got the try, and then Andrew Johns goes for field goal. It gets charged down. You get another set with like 30 seconds to go or something. And then, Andrew Johns scoots down the blind side. He offloads to Darren Albert, who's actually played the ball as well. So, like, an unbelievable effort to actually score off your own play the ball. That's effort on effort for me. And right on the siren, and history's made. And the crowd goes wild. There's Paul Harrigan running around the sideline with his arms in the air and crying, and the emotion of it all. Mate, crazy.
Mate, Albie was my best mate. We lived together. So, to see him do what he done was pretty special. I didn't run to him. I ran past him and I ran to the crowd. And I've always been a person that runs to the crowd because I know they paid the bills. They paid my contract. So I celebrate the crowd and come back to the team. Like I said, I still to this day believe it's individual sport. You celebrate as a team. So I just crowd pays me bills, went around, come back to the team, give them a call. And then grabbed my own kid, which had just been born 2 months before, which has just had last night her 27th birthday. So, and I made sure I had a kid that year, just so I can remember how many years it's been since we won the grand final. 27.
That's a good idea.
So I know when her 30th birthday comes up, it means we've got a reunion. 35th, we've got a reunion. So I was happy and cranky at the same time that LB had scored it, because as it goes down, everyone forgets who scored the other two. Remember Darren Albert? Yes, everyone forgets man of the match and all that sort of stuff. And I don't think Albie had a root before then. So I think scoring that, he actually got him a root. So I think that was pretty important. That's the truth too. Yeah, so mate, it just so like I said, carrying the trophy back to Newcastle, having the best mate score the try in the last minute.
I
Um,
know that's the beauty of that game is it was just the whole Super League war. Newcastle stays with ARL. You win it on the siren. Like you couldn't have scripted it better. Like it's crazy. That's the magical sport. Oh, that's the magic of sport. And that's
well,
why I
I'm
love
a
rugby
Balmain
league.
fan, so I'm a Balmain fan, and '89 broke my heart, and that was one of the best
Yeah,
games. I've been watching the best game of grand final, being that one, and then all of a sudden playing in that, and all of a sudden the coach of that freaking team comes to coach of us, Warren Ryan. Mate, I didn't talk to him the whole freaking year. I'm not much. I never said a freaking word to Warren Ryan the whole year, mate. And I remember in the thing one day, he asked me a question. I just, yeah, right, yeah, mate. So because he used to ask Andrew and Matthew, and I actually Matthew had left. He used to ask Andrew, Matthew Lee a lot of questions.
yep.
He's a good football brain as well. Um, said something to me one day, and I just shrugged. He goes, "What's wrong, mate?" I said, "Blocker and Ciro." He goes, "What?" I said, "Took Blocker and Ciro off, mate." He goes, "I've been your coach for 10 months." He said, "Saying that now?" I said, "Yeah, mate. Balmain fan. Took Blocker and Ciro off." It, I just couldn't believe that freaking coach that ruined my childhood in 1989 was my fucking coach now. I was that cranky with the foot. That cranky. So
Unbelievable.
that to look back at the other grand final, I thought was the best. This 89. 89 was beautiful. But
Absolutely.
to the fact that if the guy called Mick Neal, if Mick
Yep.
Neal lifted one weight in his life, he picked up just one weight and just did one bicep curl or something, Mel wouldn't have tapped him around the ankle and he fell that short of the line. All he'd want to do is one weight would have got him that much shorter. And then they went on and lost the game 5 minutes later. So, yeah, crazy.
Yeah. One of the great grand finals, eh?
For sure.
So you guys played in another grand final, 2001, where the Parramatta Eels were red hot favourites, and they were unbelievable that season. And then you guys just went against the script. You got up 24-0, in the first half. You're like, where did that come from? And then they did mount the big comeback, and then Taman Tahu got yourselves another meat pie, and you guys win again. So no, how special was it, winning your second grand final with a joint competition now that everyone's back together? You know, was there any pressure, after Super League War, when the two comps came back together to prove you were the better team of the, say, Brisbane? I'm guessing they felt the same pressure at some point.
Yeah, I think personally, because I've been put out with the drug thing and then broke my foot for another year. So I went out with the drugs for a year and then I come back, broke my foot, out for another year. So personally for me, to go and win another grand final and be part of that team, there's 5 of us that played in both. It's pretty good, which led to the what was it the other day, the Hall of Fame, whatever. So players that played in that, both of them sort of in that.
Yep.
Once again, I'll talk about this playing for a town, not a team.
Yep.
When we left town, I remember just going on the highway and girls on the back of cars and pulling their boobs out and all that sort of stuff. I felt like a rock star. By the time I got my phone number up against the window, it was sort of gone past and I missed it. So it doesn't matter. Anyway, we come down and went into Parramatta the night before, stayed at the Parramatta Park Royal. And as we're coming through the main street of Parramatta, there was like streamers, balloons in that shop. Nothing. Streamers and balloons in that shop. Peter Wynn Sports Store, covered in
Yep.
balloons and streamers. And went around and went to Park Royal. The whole Park Royal had a big go nights. Banners up. And it's big, like 10 stories tall and lights, balloons everywhere. Oh, shit. So we went to this meeting room and put our bags up, went in the meeting room. And Ben Kennedy goes, "Did anyone see that?" And we knew what he meant. He goes, "We'll win this fucking thing by 50 points." And just made that statement. So anyway, we had our meeting and all that sort of stuff. So we almost had a perfect half of football with Bezzy chucking a flat pass. It was our only mistake down the blind side. So once again, playing for town, playing for team, a little bit different. Heine was the only one for Parramatta.
Right.
The second half started and entered PJ Marsh. So PJ was my brother's best mate.
Okay.
They're both best men at each other's room. So at St. Brennan's as a kid, he had a picture of me on his wall that I sent him. So he was a massive Robbie O'Davis fan growing up, but he got a chance to play against me and with me in the Origin.
Yep.
So visualization is a big part of our sport. Big visualization is a big part of any sport. Part of freaking work. If you visualize yourself becoming a millionaire, go for it. So he said, I could only see you on the field. I could not see 12 other people. He said, I could only, my hero was sitting in the back. And this is, I mean, tapping myself on the back. This is his words. I could only see my hero sitting in the back. He said, I could not see. And I found you 5 fucking times. He found me. I made 5 tackles on PJ Marsh. But getting on passing it to Butner and freaking Hodgson. And so I was too busy tackling PJ, not tackling the bars and scoring the tries. So it was PJ Marsh alone. If he started the game, they probably damage would have been done. But Brad Drew went off, PJ come on, and yeah, he just said, mate, I was kept coming to you because I couldn't see the rest of them. And it worked. He was great. And then another story that goes, Andrew Johns. And this is make it the man, make it the air, I guess. 24-0, come out, goes in and he pissed around the dressing room. And Joey said, is that it? I got the first shout at the Burwood Hotel when we get back and started talking about what he's going to get at the pub and all this sort of stuff. So, mate, I just sort of had a bit of a laugh, but then we went into, talk to the coach mate and all that sort of stuff. And coming out, Steve Sims got held up with someone's foot went underneath. On the other side, Heine's foot went underneath Mike. So there's 2 tries. We were on 50%, and then Tamana sort of come in later. So that we both got held up, and they were scoring 1 or 2 tries in between. So 10, 12 points into it. Joey goes behind trying, boys, we got this. All we got to do is like, Robbie, what happened? And because he always looked to me because I had the best view on the field. I got paid to have the best seat in the house all my life.
Pretty good.
So tell me what's happened. So blah blah blah. Griffey didn't get there. Clint O'Brien, whatever else. Josh Perry is short, didn't work the other side of the ruck. So Joey said, okay, we'll pick up. You got to do this. Let's solve the problem. We got this. So went back, score again. The guys, Joey, Robbie, this is boys. We got this. We just got to do this. So after 4 times saying we got this, the last try they scored was 30-24, and he gets off the line, and he doesn't look at me. He just goes, "Fuck it, I got this." That's exactly what he said.
Oh my god!
Exactly what he said, mate. He goes, "I got this. Fuck yous." So anyway, he just turned around and looked at the guy kicking the goal, and just jogged it fucking halfway, and kicked it. They come back and they worked in within 20 minutes of our line. Change over or something happened. I think I ran out from in goal, and Joey went bang, 40-20. Went back the scrum. We got the scrum feed.
Yep.
And as he went ball and scrum, he goes, "I told you I got it." He said above the scrum. He said, "I told you I got it." And he fed the scrum. He played out that set of 6. They played out set of 6 game over. Yeah, it was unbelievable. Unreal. What a legend. What a legend. Just to say that and give a memory. So
it's pretty incredible, eh? So 2 grand finals for Robbie O'Davis, absolute legend. And you got to the end of 2004 and you called time on your career. Was there any consideration to go around again, or was it time to definitely, give it away at that time?
No, I was 32. I thought loyalty was a big thing. I still to this day, Christ Almighty. That's on my marriage thing, and that's a loyalty symbol. So I thought I was a very loyal person. So I thought if I can't play for Newcastle, I'm not going to walk in that stadium with a different colour jersey on. No way in the world. And I wasn't a fan of England. He wants to go play in freezing cold weather. So didn't want to go to England. And so I said, if I can't play for Newcastle, I'll just retire, thinking they would re-employ me. And I made the statement, I'll play for nothing and all that sort of stuff. And it backfired me on the end because it embarrassed the club. He said he'd play for nothing, let him employ him. But whatever it was. You could not play for under $48,000 was the minimum paid.
Right.
So Knights just didn't have any money in the salary cap, so they couldn't re-employ me. So embarrassed the shit out of them. Affected me for Christ, mate. I didn't have nothing to do with the club for years because they just wouldn't acknowledge it. So retiring at the age of 32 was a long time retired. Sort of ruined me a little bit. I went into depression, all that sort of stuff. And any money I got back, said, this guy's lived a pretty good life with all the money, but I lost a whole lot back then. It wasn't working. Would bloody train all day, drink all night, and all that sort of shit. So I lost my shit there for a couple of years, and then just woke up one day. And the beauty of a sports person is they're very strong-willed, so they could smoke a cigarette and put it down, never smoke again. But a smoker can't do that, So the will in me says that I just had to get my shit together. I was a father of one child, become father of three, down the track, and I just got my shit together, started working and getting back into life and all that sort of stuff, and never knew where I was going, what I was doing. Still to this day, still don't. But just sort of smarten myself up a bit. But the age of 32, retiring, and I'm super fit now for that reason. So my body didn't get wrecked because I retired so young. But started playing at the age of 15. So when they say, "Oh Jesus, I was only spent 14 years in NRL," I actually played from the age of 15 to 32. So I played a little bit longer than everyone else in first grade. Yeah, an extra 3 years. So there's me 17 years. I had 2 years out. So then 2 years out would have made me a 300 odd game player, I guess, and matching with the big boys.
Yeah, man, pretty incredible career. Absolutely fascinating, hearing the stories. You guys have got the best stories. It's pretty cool when you rat on each other a little bit too.
Oh my God! If I had 1,000 beers up my guts, you've got plenty. You've got plenty. If I ever go guest speaking, I was supposed to speak in Darwin the other night, and the supercars were up in Darwin, and they forgot to promote me, so they didn't take me up. So that's funny, but getting amongst the crowd in the middle of Darwin when you're never ever going to get backlash on what you talk about, and all they want to hear, that if I said to the crowd, Q&A straight up, what do you want to hear about? And I'll talk to tell stories. Of course they're going to say Andrew Johns. Tell me what Joey's like, and boom. And literally, I'll just sit there 5 hours just talk about what I've seen and how he's been. He's a champion, an absolute champion. And I come, everyone that dictates rugby league in Australia on the TV at the moment, I've played with, or a lot of them coached by, played with. A lot of them are Newcastle Knights. So if you look back now, you got Chiefs. It's still really high profile and got off of TV a couple of years ago. You got Matt, you got Andrew, you got Mark Hughes, dictating Adam Dougal, $600 million band. So all these guys that played in my area, in my team, they're still characters. That team, as I said before, we trained to drink to train, and we won grand finals. It's just a real part of our lives. That guys that were so close as friends, because in Sydney, one guy lives at Parramatta, one guy lives at Coogee, one guy lives at freaking Penrith, and they all play in the same team. So they only see each other at training. We drive across the road. We've got mate living there. You've got mate living there. You've got mate living there. We all go to the same nightclub every night of the week. So it's just, it's playing. But Brisbane's different. Towns is probably the closest thing to us, but Brisbane's different because Brisbane's so big they don't live near each other. But Towns the Cowboys is probably where their victory was. Again, like a lot of guys come from out of the town, but living beside each other and eating off the same plate sort of thing. So it's pretty special being in Newcastle, that's for sure. And that's why I haven't left to do it.
Absolutely, man. That's so awesome. So I just want to finish off with a few fun questions. So who do you think's going to win the NRL in 2024?
Oh, well, I thought Brisbane were pretty good. Till Mike got bloody hit in the head after seeing Walsh get the hit in the head. I don't know if he's there, but he didn't play another game of football prior to that Origin, so he might wake up next week and smarten up a bit and go back to the player he was. But if they haven't got him performing at the top level, Brisbane probably can't. If they want to do something for Queensland, then they won't. They'll keep the same side, I imagine. With this one, who they dropped? They dropped one player out because he was injured or suspended or something.
Wasn't it Cobbo? Did he drop out?
Cobbo. So Cobbo comes back in, all that sort of stuff. Um, yeah, probably Ezra Man.
Yeah,
So put him in that. So I know the guy that's in there, the Mo Deep, but you've got freaking Munster as well. So they still got
yeah,
he's not going to play the game. But Ezra Man might have a bit of origin in him. You know, the way he plays and put all them young
yeah.
kids in together. There's the history. So there's the future right there. So I thought Brisbane, the way they play, Newcastle Knights are just going to be spectators, I think. Unfortunately, they're a great little team, but they're out of 6 and 7.
Yeah.
In grand finals, and they're just chucking 6 and 7s in randomly each week to see who's going to work.
Yeah.
So I really don't know what we're going to do there. But yeah, I don't think Brisbane is going to go close at the end of the year if they get Walsh moving. Freaking Kiwis are special at the start,
Yeah.
and they just lost the plot. Don't know
Yeah.
why they lost the plot, whether it was because actually no, they just lost. I was going to say nothing to do with Johnson because they started winning, as we know. So I just don't know. They're too inconsistent. They're like Parramatta in the day. They just win like 50
Mate,
years. So
they're such an enigma, mate. They're tough to follow. They're very hard to follow.
I bet. Imagine following Parramatta. Jesus. You're going to shoot yourself.
Okay, man. What's your favorite TV show or series of all time?
Watch my TV. It's not Days of Our Lives. I know that. Is this leading to a movie as well, or just a TV show?
No, not just TV show or series. Like, just...
Nice and mighty. Can't remember last time I watched TV. I won't watch KO. That's all I freaking watch.
That's good enough. Rugby League, that'll do.
Yeah, that'll do, mate. The wifey's been putting on them reality TV shows where everyone goes over something islands and stuff. They're all freaking nude.
Love Island.
Oh, me dead. How was that?
Garbage.
Hell, I don't give a shit if it's garbage. I just want to get on the bus.
Fair enough.
Have a week off, man. Have a week off being married, sweet. Just give me a week off being married.
Okay. Last question, man. If you could only eat the same meal every single day, what would it be?
Seafood pasta every day of the week. Marinara.
Marinara.
All day. with real prawns. Not the freaking frozen bastards, the real prawns. Big fan of marinara.
Oh, awesome, man. Well, thank you so much for coming on the Point of Difference Rugby League podcast and going back in the day with me. It's an absolute thrill to meet you, man. And, definitely talking about that 97 grand final. Always wanted to do that. So thank you so much for giving up your time and, sharing some stories with us. It's been fantastic.
Nah, awesome, mate. Thank you very much for the time.
Well, thanks again. And thanks for everyone for watching. And this has been Robbie O'Davis. And we'll see you all next time for kickoff.
Full time.